Today on the show, we're going to look at the history of Flashpoint and the effect that the New 52 had on comic books as a whole. If you didn't know that the New 52 was originally planned to happen after Final Crisis, but the president of DC Comics at the time, Paul Levitz, rejected this idea, then this show is for you. So Flashpoint, a 2011 crossover event that essentially caused the New 52, and it's centered mainly around the Flash. Now Flashpoint, in essence, merges the DC universe, the Vertigo universe, and the Wildstorm universe, giving the DC universe a new status quo and a new continuity to work with. The New 52 was essentially 52 either brand new or relaunches of comics that featured all new incarnations of characters that we all know and love, and we'll be getting more into that after we go over the plot of Flashpoint. So before we actually get into the plot of Flashpoint, I want you to learn why the New 52 and Flashpoint happened. So Dan DiDio, the current co-publisher of DC Comics, came up with the idea of the New 52. DiDio pitched the idea for the New 52 to happen after Final Crisis, and Paul Levitz, the president of DC Comics at that time, was kind of like, no offense, but that idea isn't too hot, and the idea was dropped. Then, in 2009, Levitz changed job and DiDio was promoted, and the gears for the New 52 began to turn. On the internet at the moment, no matter where you go, whether it's Twitter or Tumblr or Facebook or Instagram, you will find something or someone saying, Dan DiDio has ruined comics, fire DiDio. And I don't think that's entirely fair. I mean, in 2003, he was named Man of the Year by Wired magazine for his work on DC Comics. But that's something we'll get more into after the plot of Flashpoint.
It's super effective!
So the Flash, Barry Allen, wakes up and finds that he's in an alternate universe, and this universe is very different from the one that he's used to. Number 1, Citizen Cold is Central City's greatest hero. Number 2, his mother is still alive. Number 3, his father is dead, and Superman and the Justice League are nowhere to be seen. Meanwhile, in Gotham City, we see Cyborg and Batman having a chat. But just before this chat happens, Batman throws a person off a roof, which means that this Batman is more than happy to kill people. So Batman and Cyborg have a conference with the world's heroes. Turns out that Wonder Woman and Aquaman are at war with one another, and by effect, the Amazons and the Atlanteans. This war has caused a lot of damage and death in Western Europe, and America might be next, but none of the heroes can agree on what they should do, and the meeting is ended. Barry then goes to the Batcave and he is attacked by Batman, and it turns out that Batman in this timeline isn't Bruce Wayne, but Thomas Wayne, Bruce's father. Turns out that Bruce actually died instead of his parents in this timeline. Go over to Paris and there is no city there anymore, just flooded remains, and Deathstroke takes control of a pirate ship and is looking for his daughter. Deathstroke and his crew are attacked by Aquaman, and Aquaman stabs Deathstroke in his chest with a trident. Fortunately, Sonar is able to heal Deathstroke. Meanwhile, back at the Wayne Manor, Barry is explaining to Thomas his relationship with Bruce. Next, Barry's memories begin to alter themselves to match this alternate universe, and it turns out that this isn't an alternate universe at all, but an altered timeline, meaning his whole life has been changed. Barry's ring then shoots out the Reverse Flash costume, and this leads Barry to believe that the Reverse Flash is behind everything, so Barry is going to recreate the accident that gave him his powers in the first place. It is worth noting that his first attempt does just badly burn him, and this part of the comic genuinely worried me. Next, we go back to Europe, and Steve Trevor is waiting for Lois Lane, but he is attacked by Wonder Woman and her army of Amazons. Wonder Woman begins to strangle Steve using her lasso of truth, and Steve is forced to reveal all sorts of secrets, such as that he's actually there to meet up with Lois Lane because Lois Lane was sent to New Themyscira to pick up information on Wonder Woman and the Amazons for Cyborg. Back in America, the US president tells Cyborg that Steve Trevor tried sending a signal to the Resistance, but he was interrupted thanks to a traitor in the heroes that Cyborg tried to recruit. Element Woman sneaks into the HQ and Cyborg is relieved of his duty. Meanwhile, in New Themyscira, Lois Lane comes face to face with the Resistance. Meanwhile, back to the Flash, another lightning strike gives him his powers again, heals all of his wounds, and this allows him to recreate his costume. Barry goes over a whole bunch of information and realizes that the Reverse Flash must be trying to stop the formation of the Justice League. He also finds out that the rocket that carried the baby Superman actually landed in Metropolis instead of Kansas, so baby Kal-El was taken in and he was named Subject 1 by Project Superman. So Flash and Batman join Cyborg's cause to stop Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and they go to find Subject 1. And when they do, they find a very weak, very pale version of Superman. This is actually something that really plays on my mind quite a bit. I think that in this timeline, technology hasn't really advanced as far as it has in the main timeline, because in the main timeline, they can create Superboy and keep him healthy away from sunlight. Next, some guards arrive and a battle breaks out, but Superman flies off in the middle of the battle and this leaves our three heroes trapped in the sewers. Fortunately, they are saved by Element Woman, and Flash's memories begin to realign themselves to this timeline again, but Batman gives Flash an anti-epileptic to stop his memories from adjusting anymore by slowing down his brain's electrical activity. Back with the American president, he publicly announces Cyborg's failure to unite the world's heroes and that the US military are entering the Amazonian Atlantean War. Meanwhile, Billy Batson is in a bit of a slump because he was very easily defeated by Wonder Woman quite recently, but he resolves to put a stop to the war. Next, our three heroes with Element Woman now turn up and ask for the Marvel family's help. Batman asks Billy to shoot some of his lightning at the Flash to stop his memories from being erased anymore. A cool thing here that doesn't really affect the main storyline overall is that Billy actually sees the memories of his original universe counterpart, and I think that's quite cool. Next, our group hears of a failed air assault on England thanks to the Amazonians' invisible jet air force, but Hal Jordan was actually the first casualty. On top of this, the Atlanteans are generating a giant tidal wave that threatens New Themyscira. Barry tells Batman that he can't let the Reverse Flash get away with this, because if he doesn't stop the Reverse Flash, the world is clearly going to destroy itself, so our team go to New Themyscira, and on the way they are joined by Enchantress. When the team arrive, they find Wonder Woman and Aquaman fighting each other one-on-one. The Marvel family transform into Captain Thunder, and it actually looks like they're going to defeat Wonder Woman, but then Enchantress turns around, turns the Marvel family back into their human forms, and it turns out that she is the Amazonian spy. Penthesilea then kills Billy, and this causes a huge explosion, and once all the smoke clears, Reverse Flash finally reveals his presence. Reverse Flash reveals to Barry that it wasn't he who created this timeline, but the Flash himself. The Flash traveled back in time to stop Thwayne from killing his mother. Zoom then resets Barry's internal vibrations, and this allows him to remember going back in time and saving his mother. But then Reverse Flash is all like, but I'm now a living paradox, and I don't need you to be alive anymore. Ha 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 ha. Zoom keeps taunting Barry with this information, but then Batman just stabs him in the back. And then Subject 1 turns up and joins in the fight. Batman insists Barry put things back to the way that they're supposed to be to erase this war from existence, because if he doesn't, this war will kill millions, and it might even kill billions. Before Barry enters the time stream, Thomas Wayne gives Barry a letter addressed to Bruce Wayne and thanks him for giving his son a second chance at life. Barry also goes to see his mother. He reveals the truth to her, and the two of them have a very tearful goodbye. Barry then goes back in time, merges with his younger self, stops him from stopping Thwayne, and he returns to his own timeline, but everything is slightly different from how they used to be before. Barry then goes to Bruce, gives him his father's letter, and Bruce is really touched by not only the letter, but his father's sacrifice, and this is where Flashpoint ends and a new DC universe begins. For Flashpoint itself, loads of people loved it. I loved it. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time that I was reading it. And if you want to start reading it, I've included a list of all the comics that are included, both main and optional, in the description below. And I definitely recommend that you pick them all up if you can. And if not, just pick up the main ones. They're all really good reads.
It's super effective!
Now we're at the New 52. And a lot of people really complain about the New 52, but I think they really don't appreciate the effect that the New 52 had on comic books as a whole. So, before the New 52, comic book sales were at a low. Not an all-time low, mind you, but it looked like it could have gotten there if something wasn't done fast. The New 52 happens, and comic book sales go up 20% within a year. Marvel saw how much Flashpoint and the New 52 helped DC, so they did their own thing with Avengers vs. X-Men and Marvel Now, and you know what? Both helped comic books tremendously. So obviously, along the way, the New 52 kind of went a bit askew, if you will, and because of that, we do have to talk about Didio. As a writer and an editor, Didio has rocked every single role, and he's not doing so hot in his current one. Now, I'm not saying fire Didio now, he needs to end his job, he needs to end his life. I am not saying that. But what I am saying is I would really like to see some progression, and I'm only just now getting to see that. I understand what Didio is doing is really hard. I mean, managing a fictional universe is a really weird job and there's no guidebook to it, and I don't think many people really appreciate that. This being said, I'm more than happy to admit that some of his actions are just insulting, such as the Batwoman marriage issue and Green Team, Teen Trillionaires. Did he really greenlight that? Really? So here's where I stand on the New 52. It's not bad. It's great. Some of it's more than great. Okay, it had a rocky start, but it's really progressing fast now. Teen Titans got better, Forever Evil just surprised everyone, and the new Harley Quinn comic is amazing. It reminds me a lot of Lenore, not really in story, but definitely in feel. Everyone is more than free to have their own opinions on the New 52, but what I don't understand is when someone outright hates a comic because it's part of the New 52. Like, give something a chance before you judge it. The old continuity is not coming back anytime soon, and yes, in the New 52 there are things that I really detest. I'm looking at you, Green Team, Teen Trillionaires. Yes, there are also changes that I really don't like, but there are more changes that I think are awesome. The new Harley Quinn is so in-depth, she's actually a very good character now, she is awesome. We actually have a time frame for all the constant Robin changes with Batman, and every time before we were just like, so how long was he actually Robin for? And also, the best part, they're actually making sure that they can write a character well before they even go into the multiverse, which was the issue before, and I really like that. All in all, Flashpoint was amazing, and the New 52 is really good. Okay, it had a rocky start, but it's only going to improve, and we can actually see it improving.
It's super effective!
Okay guys, that is it for today. Obviously, I could not cover every little part of Flashpoint, but please let me know in the comments down below if you think I missed anything that was majorly important. And also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe, and also let me know your favorite part of the New 52. My name is Faust, this has been Exploring Comics, and it is super effective.